Welcome to my wild adventures. In this month's episode, we're off to Anglesey in search of seabirds, then over to Abberton Reservoir for a bit of tracking. We head north to the incredible Bempton Cliffs, squeezing a corporate shoot in the lakes, and finishing things across the pond. So, without further ado, let's get on with it. I don't know about you, but early mornings is a bit of a double-edged sword for me. Part of me knows that dawn is when the wild really wakes up, when the light's soft and the air's still, and nature puts on a show. The other part, well, that's the worn-out bloke who just wants 5 more minutes in his warm bed. Deep down, I always know which side wins, and it's never the duvet. This week I'm heading out west to Anglesey, a first for me. I've seen glimpses of what it has to offer through other people's adventures, and now it's finally my turn to explore this for myself. Wild coastlines, seabirds, and that raw edge of the Irish Sea. I can't wait to see what turns up. My first stop is Cymyran Bay, a spot well known for its wild beauty and especially its tern colonies. It's a place that really comes alive in spring and summer, with birds constantly on the move and the coastline buzzing with life. The perfect way to kick things off. Why is it when I look for my binoculars, my jaw inadvertently drops open? No idea. So I'm currently sitting watching this beautiful coastline here at Cymyran Bay on Anglesey. Now, I haven't been to Anglesey before. I thought I'd come up here, do a couple of days, just see what's about. I've been working in Liverpool, so it's only a couple of hours away, so yeah, seemed like a perfect opportunity. I came here on the Friday. I thought I'd just go and come and have a bit of a recce first. And I ended up staying probably a couple of hours before the rain came in. Now, the weather hasn't been the best over the last sort of, I would say 24 hours. It's not been too bad. I did start here, got some lovely film of the terns. So the sandwich terns here, common terns, they're nesting just over the back of the bay here. Beautiful to watch. And I think there's even a Rosetta tern there, which, yeah, stunning. Lots of other birds here as well. Whether you're looking for herons or curlews, stone chats, oyster catchers, turnstones, all sorts of wonderful things. But yeah, so once I'd done that, the first day I went back to my campsite. I've been camping in my van for the last 2 days. And that's the thing, I've only got 2 days here. So I'm trying to squeeze a lot in. There are plenty of different birds to spot here, but it's the tern colonies at Cymyran Bay that draws most visitors. Both sandwich and common terns are busy nesting and feeding here, their calls and activity bringing the coastline to life. Cymyran Bay provides a vital refuge for these birds. With safe breeding grounds and rich feeding waters, it's one of the most important tern colonies in the region.
Each year, sandwich terns make an incredible journey, breeding along the coasts of the UK and Europe before travelling thousands of miles south to spend the winter along the West African coast. So right for summer. It's a remarkable migration between two very different worlds, highlighting just how extraordinary these birds really are.
I also managed to do a day at the RSPB at South Stack, which is, again, a stunning location on Holyhead, right, like the sort of peak of Holyhead, and you get to view the lighthouse and lots of different seabirds. Again, slightly different to here. It was mainly sort of guillemots, razorbills. There was 1 or 2 puffins. There weren't lots there, but yeah, that was, lovely thing to see. I did see those beautiful red-billed choughs, which, funny enough, I actually saw, I think they were yellow-billed choughs out when I was skiing in France. But yeah, lovely to see the red-billed chough here, and getting close was a quite difficult thing, mainly because it was so busy, really busy, lots of people. I mean, I turned up at sort of 5. It was very quiet, lovely, and then sort of as 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock crept in, lots and lots of people. I mean, it is summertime, well, we're creeping into summer now, and you're going to expect it. There's going to be lots of people about, and it's nice to share. It's, it's a beautiful place. Of course, you're going to get lots of people here.
South Stack RSPB offers not just a wide variety of bird life, but also some truly stunning views. From the cliff tops you can watch seabirds wheeling and diving against the wild crashing sea below, though you'll want to be sure that you've got to head for heights. Keep your eyes peeled for guillemots, razorbills and the occasional puffin putting on a show. It's a very popular spot for visitors, with the famous lighthouse walk drawing crowds eager to take in the scenery and wildlife. You might also be lucky enough to spot the red-billed chough, truly awesome birds to watch as they swoop and dive along the cliffs.
It's a place that I would love to spend a bit more time. I mean, squeezing everything into 2 days is difficult, but what I'm thinking is I might go to the Orme next and maybe see if I can see any peregrines. But yeah, for today, I'm gonna just hang around here for a bit, go and see the terns again, and then just be nice to get an otter. But again, it's not likely. I had a lovely chat with one of the guys who was actually he was drawing actually, or sketching out one of the birds on the front there, and he told me that seeing otters here, you may see it in the morning, very early morning. It's 5:30 now. And it gave me a couple of locations to go and check out. I'm in one of them right now. As of yet, no otter. But that's what it's all about. It's all, you just never know what you're going to get. It may pop up, it may not. We shall see. A couple of grey seals out there. I think they're grey seals. It's funny, they must be upright in the water like this, bobbing, because their heads are just looking up at the sky. Then all of a sudden they'll go blah, 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 blah. But yeah, that's cool to see. A couple of recommendations. I would definitely say wrap up well, or at least layer. I would have 2 coats. I would have a nice thermal coat like this, and I would have a waterproof. You definitely want a waterproof, because it does rain here a lot apparently. Binoculars, you need a good pair of binoculars. A lot of the birds are quite a distance here, which is where they're safest. And so yeah, having a good pair of binoculars will help you spot species at distance. If you're a photographer here or a videographer, a good lens again is definitely something you need. A good sturdy tripod as well. I mean, with this wind, there's a lot of shake, and as you'll probably see in my footage, but yeah, the heavier and the more sturdy you get, the better it will be. But yeah, lots to film here. I think you've got to give yourself at least 4 days, maybe 3 days, that you could, it doesn't take you long to get over the island. It took me about an hour or so just to get one end to the other. So everything's quite close to hand. But by the time you get to a location, sit there for 2 hours looking for a species, come to the midpoint, come to these, the east side, the west side, time does go quick. And especially when you're doing wildlife stuff, because there's a lot of time waiting and searching and walking. So yeah, I'll give yourself a few days here to explore, but yeah, lots to see here. I've had a great time here. It's a beautiful place. Get yourself over to Anglesey.
Well, all good things must come to an end, but I had one more place to explore on my way home. Llandudno in North Wales is well renowned for its peregrines. They're known to nest along the cliffs of the Marine Drive, so it was an opportunity I just couldn't resist. A good couple of hours scouring the cliff tops paid off. Not just one adult bird, but 2 and 4 chicks. Even though they've kept their distance and made filming quite tricky, watching them felt like a real privilege. What a cool way to end the weekend. Abberton Reservoir near Colchester in Essex is home to a rich variety of birdlife all year round, with the occasional migratory visitor dropping in to explore the vast and thriving waterway. This week's standout visitors include a ruddy shelduck, a white-faced whistling duck, and a Caspian tern, although sadly I didn't manage to catch sight of that one. But there's one visitor that I'm particularly interested in, and that's who we're focusing on today. Abberton isn't far from my home, so I visit quite regularly. It's the perfect spot for keeping the camera skills sharp. One technique that's high on my must-improve list is tracking birds in flight. It's no easy task. It takes patience, the right settings, and a bit of rhythm. And of course, a bit of luck too. But with plenty of trial and error, I think I've started to figure out an approach that works.
So I've come down to Abberton Reservoir this evening to see one specific thing, and that is the spoonbills. Now they are here, they're nesting in the trees over the back here to my right and on the island at the far left hand side. They're beautiful to see. I've seen them many times, a couple of times here before, a couple of times in Norfolk. But yeah, what I specifically want to do is try and get them in flight. Tracking birds in flight is an art, and I thought I'd share with you how I do it. So the very first thing I do is take these off. I love my binoculars, but I know what I'm looking for. I don't want these knocking against my camera when I'm filming. I'll put these on the floor. So this is my setup. I've got a nice sturdy tripod, a decent fluid head, and my rig is centralized. Now what that basically means is everything is smack down the middle. So if I'm lifting up or panning and tilting, it all returns to that central value. It makes it a lot easier to control. The next thing I do is I tend to merge my body with the camera just to add that extra stability. And that involves putting the pan and tilt arm on my chest here, my right hand for controlling, and then my left hand here does the zoom rocker. So it's a really nice motion. It's like dancing with my camera.
All right, Antoine, calm it down. Be at one with your camera. What a wally.
And then there's monitoring. I've got a monitor here. I also have an EVF which I use as well, but it's much easier to see what I'm filming here. So again, once I'm in motion with this, I can actually watch what I'm looking at here and make sure that I'm actually getting the shot I need. You know, I'm using peaking and showing exactly what I'm needed to get, sharpness, in focus, all that information, and I can view it here on the monitor. One of the most difficult parts of this whole process is to work out what your subject is going to be doing, as in, is it going to be flying straight? Is it going to be doing lots of turns? Is it diving? That is a really difficult thing to interpret. Now, obviously, if you're looking at birds in a tree and it's static, that's the easy stuff. It's when they fly, you know, and they're turning and they're twisting, you just don't know where they are. You just have to learn their behavior. And that's only done by doing things over and over again. You can see a turn, you can see the beginning of a turn. It's when you're using long lenses, for instance, and you need to get exactly on that bird as it turns. That's the trick. Now the trick for me, once I'm in control of the camera, I tend to zoom right out. So I've got a nice wide shot of that subject. As soon as I'm ready and I'm in the motion with it, I'll hit record and zoom straight in and capture that bird in flight. And that tends to work, I would say, probably 80% of the time. And because I'm shooting in a high frame rate as well, 120 frames, 60 frame, I can then slow it down. So there are micro jitters in my film work. I can take them out and post.
Settings wise, I'm using continuous autofocus, controlled by back button focusing. I find it so much easier than having focus tied to the shutter. It gives me more control and frees up the timing for the shot. I go with wide focus area, letting Sony's excellent focus motors do their thing, and they hit about 80% of the time. I also enable animal eye autofocus, but because most of my subjects are usually a fair distance away, it's more of a 75% hit rate on that one. I use the tracking feature now and then, but I actually prefer to lock on manually. It keeps things simpler and reduces the steps I need to keep the subject framed, in focus, and tracked cleanly. Shooting at a higher frame rate also allows you to slow it down in post, which gives you more smooth results. And if there's a bit of shake in there, well, you can take that out with stabilization in post. I do use the in-lens and in-camera stabilization too where possible, but this is limited depending on the focal length and lens I'm working with.
And that's it. It sounds easy, it really isn't. I'm not going to say that this is an easy thing to do. Tracking birds in flight is difficult, but I think the more and more you do it, the better you'll get at it.
first time I saw gannets was back in my early 20s. I was always a wild child back then, drawn to nature, always looking, but mainly just as a bystander. That boat trip to Bass Rock in Scotland nearly 30 years ago changed everything. I had no idea at the time, but that moment would shape my whole life. It kick-started a love affair with nature, led me into wildlife photography and eventually into filmmaking. They were like nothing I'd seen before. Creamy white bodies with golden sunlight yellow heads, ice blue eyes and fossil sharp beaks. Their outline was almost alien, like something too perfect for this world. Watching these astonishing giants of the sea and sky glide overhead, then plunge like spears into the water, I was absolutely transfixed. The smell, the sound, it really was a game changer for me. Gannets sparked something. They are fierce, elegant, and utterly mesmerising. They pulled me in and never really let go. Now I make it a mission to see them every year. Even if it does mean travelling over 200 miles, I owe them that. It's my way of saying thank you for opening the door to this wonderful world. And one of the best places to see them is right here, Bempton Cliffs. It's a real spectacle. Towering chalk walls, the North Sea crashing below, and tens of thousands of seabirds filling the sky. It's wild, dramatic, and full of life. You've got razorbills, guillemots, fulmars, and the odd puffin or two. But for me, it's always the gannet, the queen of the sky.
So as you guys probably realise, I love doing what I do. I love being out in nature, love making films about different species and showing them to you guys. But what you probably didn't know is that I actually do this for a living. Not so much the nature side of it, but I am a professional cameraman and a media director. So I'm currently off to a commercial shoot in the Lake Districts, and I thought I'd bring you guys along for the journey. So I woke up really early this morning, about 5 o'clock, and I've been on the road for probably about 5 hours now. I'm heading to Coniston Water in the Lake District, which is obviously a beautiful location. Our mission for today and for the next few days is to basically do a commercial shoot for Ridge Monkey Outdoors. Ridge Monkey Outdoors is a new arm for the business for Ridge Monkey, which is predominantly focused on outdoor living. So that's van life, hiking, just people who love the outdoors and being, well, camping basically. And a lot of our products cross over into the outdoor sector and have done for a long, long time. And I'm so excited about that crossover because obviously it does cross over into my wildlife as well, which is great. But for me, as my commercial hat on, I'm very much focused on, bringing the whole experience of being outside, not just using the product, but, the whole thing of actually being in nature, camping, living wherever it is, on a campsite or next to a lake or wherever it is. But yeah, so today and for the next 3 days, it's all about what happens on a commercial shoot. So there's me, I've got another cameraman, a guy called Tom. He's going to be doing the sort of second angles for me. I've also got a photographer coming who is going to be doing the lifestyle stills. We've got a few models, a couple of influencers, plus the whole Ridge Monkey sort of design team and my boss Paul. And we're all going to be basically creating this lifestyle scenarios, or multiple lifestyle scenarios, be it camper vans, be it tents. But yeah, I thought I'd just drag you along and show you how exactly we do it.
Okay, these shoots come down to 3 key elements for me. Firstly, it's about capturing the right content, key shots, story moments, and enough background to give us options in the edit. Secondly, it's about teamwork and structure, having a clear plan, good communication, and everyone knowing their role so the shoot runs smoothly. And thirdly, is to have fun. When the vibe's good on set, it shows in the final product. Smiles and positive energy always find their way into my work.
So, we just arrived at the camping zone and we have got a number of different vehicles set up for the shoot. These are all of ours as well here. I'm just waiting for a few extra people wandering about, having a look around, basically location scouting. That's what we're trying to do at the moment. At the back of us here, they're all lovely line of trees and a few little dry stone walls there as well. So what I would like to do is try and get those in the shoot. And as I said, there's going to be a mixture of, doing sort of van life stuff and actual camping, like in tents. So at the moment, everybody's kind of spread out, having a look around, seeing what's about. And then once everybody's happy, we'll start setting up each of its own little spaces. So as you can see behind, we're just putting up the tent where we're going to try and keep it a bit dry because the weather's going to get a bit wet here. So we've got a gazebo here, which is obviously all branded up. And yeah, we're going to set everything here, put all of the photographic equipment, put all the products in there so everything stays nice and clean and dry.
Unpredictable weather's always a tricky one to work with, but this is England and we're used to chasing the elements. It's a UK scene, so I'm not too worried if a bit of rain makes it into the shoot. but as long as the cameras don't get flooded.
So the guys are currently setting up all of the tent areas. So we're going to start with the tent areas, which are the softer goods, smaller goods in our range. And so I've set them the task of setting up 2 different pitches, 2 different sizes. Basically, from a commercial point of view, we have to sell various different size products. We do small, medium, large, and obviously it's quite natural for somebody to, if they come hiking, they'll use the smaller products because it's less for them to carry, unless they've got a storage bit in their car or whatever it is. But yeah, so we're currently setting up the different scenarios, and then later on what we'll do is we'll go to the vans, the back of the vans. They can hold everything. So another key aspect of a shoot is obviously the product itself. A lot of product that we're using here can get very dirty very quickly. So I've got all the team trying to pull all the different scenarios that we've got set up here into their different sections. You know, you have different scenarios that you kind of then base that sort of micro shoot around.
And with everything set up, everyone in position, and the cameras ready, we start rolling.
So we've just finished our first day of shooting. We managed to get quite a lot done. It was 1 model, 2 models, 2 models. So in 3 different scenarios. When we actually set this up, we've kind of got an idea of what we want to achieve. A promo at the end of it, which will be a collection of all the products with different scenarios and different models. But the idea would be, so if you can see in the background here, they're still shooting, they're doing the still stuff over here now. But what we wanted to do was get 2 cameras, or 3 cameras, we had 3 cameras going, with 3 different angles, something with a bit of movement, something that was fixed, and then just sort of aroma really. And with that, I can cut in the edit. It's going to be a quick cut between all these different sections and the different parts of the product, people, and then either tomorrow or the next day, we're going to go out and do some paddle boarding, some walking, some biking, all those wonderful outdoor things. And yes, that's what we've been doing. But we're going to do some night shots today as well, or tonight, which will be fires and people having fun. And yeah, sort of just general outdoor life. So yeah, fingers crossed it all goes well. Good morning, the sun is out and we're on day 2. We're actually doing the vans today. Excuse the woods work going in the background, but we're doing the vans today, which are currently in the background just over here. So again, like yesterday, it's a lifestyle setup. We're gonna sort of make it look as real as we can with lots of product. Obviously have everything else you would use in the scene as well. But yes, once we've got that, we've got 4 cameras training around, getting different angles, getting sort of B-roll style background shoots. And yeah, that will be part of the big picture once we edit it all down, and it's going to be awesome.
B-roll shoots, in my opinion, are the easiest to cover. The setting's more natural, people are more relaxed, and that always comes across in the final film. And whilst this might be a lifestyle shoot, bacon sandwiches for the crew are obviously essential. A well-fed cameraman is a happy cameraman at the end of the day.
So here we've got a scenario of a van lifer, and she's a full-time van lifer, and she's got everything she needs all in one place. So the boys here in the background, they're filming the various different products being used in the various different ways. So there's a million shots of a kettle being used. But every time you do any of these kind of shoots, You can shoot a kettle in like 6 or 7 different ways. That's 6 or 7 different posts that you can create for social media, for promotion work. It's, you know, there's lots of different variations, and because there are 2 guys doing the video work and there's Nick in the back here doing the stills, there's plenty of options for doing catalogue stuff as well, and well, yeah, lots and lots of different media types. So yeah, this is a good contained shoot area, which is much easier to work on than things where you have to have transitions into spaces, etc. But yeah, this is pretty cool. So right now we're doing a part of the shoot where one of our models is going to hike through a lot of the undergrowth and trying to get some movement and some sort of environmental parts where actually it's a bit more rugged and a bit more rough, instead of it just being a sort of a static camping scenario. But let me just show you. So all this lovely ferns here. So we're picking out all these little locations just to kind of bring them through. Camera guys will be sort of deep in the ferns, and we'll get the sort of passing shots and slow-mo and all that wonderful stuff. One of the funny things is, because we've got like 2 or 3 cameras going at the same time, we've got to just be careful of not to get in each other's shots. But a bit of ducking, bit of diving, we can make it work. The guys have had a nice clearing and they're just doing some nice close camera work just on, you know, putting the tents up, putting up you know, his location, and but yeah, lots of good opportunity, lots of high foliage here for you sort of to hide behind different leaves, and yeah, it just gives it a bit more of a different feel.
There's a fair amount of pressure on these shoots to get everything just right. But with a clear end vision and someone to steer, it can be both productive and genuinely enjoyable.
And there you go. That is a couple of days on a commercial shoot. Now we've still got a couple of days to go, and we've got water sports to do and a few drone shots we want to do, a bit of walking, a bit of hiking. But essentially, I want to get the main bulk of it done in the different scenarios, in the camping scenarios. The guys are still filming now, but yeah, it's just a little insight into how chaotic a shoot like this can be when you're working with maybe 6 or 7 models, 15, 20 different products, and 4 or 5 different scenarios. It's a lot of work, but orchestrating this, it's time. Orchestrating this kind of setup. You have to get the setup correct first. That's a really key thing. Once you've got the thing set up and people kind of know what they're supposed to do, whether it's a lifestyle cooking scenario or they're just having a chill out or whatever it is, setting up a tent, it all comes together. At the end, you just need to keep shouting at people to do certain things. Don't shout at people, never shout at people, but you ask them to do things for you. They just, you know, don't look at the camera, continue what you're doing, and you get some really good results. And I'm hopeful what we'll get out of this. We'll get maybe a 3 to 5 minute promo for the whole brand, because it's obviously a new thing that we're going to bring to market. And we'll also get lots of social media for this as well. So whether it be product focus or lifestyle focus, so we get, you know, lots and lots of content. And yeah, ideally we can wrap it up sort of end of tomorrow. And yeah, I can go back and start editing some of this stuff. But yeah, I just thought I'd give you a quick insight into how we roll.
looking forward to sharing the final results and to watching this brand grow from strength to strength. I'm very lucky that my work takes me to some amazing places, and I'm always on the lookout for wild encounters along the way. Sometimes these encounters come completely out of the blue. On a recent shoot, I spotted an unfamiliar shape whilst filming with a drone, so I grabbed a long lens and followed it into the bank. A small, brown beaver-like creature shot by and tucked itself into the nearby snags. It turned out to be a coypu. Not a new species for me, but still a very welcome encounter all the same. These awesome little critters aren't native to the UK, but small populations do exist here in France. With their rounded bodies, strong tails and webbed feet, they're perfectly built for life on the water, and always a treat to spot. And then, in a blink of an eye, he was gone. If you enjoyed this content and you would like to see more, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next episode.